What's up, you guys? Make sure the audio is okay. It does look like it's fine. Uh, things are happening, man. Things are definitely happening for Kronos, and I like the way things are moving. I'm liking the volume. I'm liking everything about it, and I just want to see this continue to go because CRO holders and believers deserve it, right? We've been holding and believing in this for a long time, whether it was up, whether it was down, whether it was at 50 cents, whether it was at 90 cents, or dropping all the way down to a level of 5 cents. CRO or crypto.com, honestly, is way too big to to be this low. Has too many people that are investing into it that believe in it to be that low, right? 5 cents or so. And it was all really because of people seeing FTX and going Cronos and crypto.com are next, right? But let me put in a poll real quick. Um, uh, you say they need to release in Binance. Let me go through the chat real quick, and we'll go through what's happening with Kronos and where this stands price wise. But before we do get into that, if you guys could make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more of these videos and live streams. Also, make sure you check out my link in the chat and in the description for BTCC. There's a platform where you can get a 10% deposit bonus. I'm just all over the place. 10% deposit bonus when you specifically use my link down below. Extra bonuses up to $10,055 and 40% lower trading fees. So if you guys are interested in signing up for a platform that you can leverage trade, you can trade outright, you can demo trade, and honestly do a bunch of other stuff with, feel free to check that out. The link to that is again in the chat and in the description. Honestly, it's a very good platform. But uh, let's look at where Kronos is right now first. So Kronos currently stands at 23 cents. And while it was at about 21 yesterday, it was like resisting away from it. You saw it pull back a little bit, which is typical, right? You see um, it get to a high point. Now, this isn't the all-time high or the highest point or even close to it, right? It's just a high point, and where it was a previous resistance level, typically you see it as a current resistance level. So you're going to see it kind of pull back a little bit, and it did do that. I expected to see it come back to about 18, if not a little bit further than that. However, it didn't. I had a small like $30 50x leverage short in it at the level of $20 or 20 cents to come back down to about 18. Didn't end up doing that. It came back to like 19 something. It might have been 19 flat, which we will go through as we look at this. But then rose, right? And I'm perfectly fine with it. I win either way because I have a lot of CRO in my possession, but then I also wanted a short-term trade to kind of make like $100 or $200 yesterday. Didn't end up happening, which is fine. But now we're at 23 cents for Kronos, and we're up 43% for the last 24 hours. If we're looking at the market cap is also looking good. It's at about a 7.8 billion dollar market cap. Volume is up 1,394% for the last 24 hours. We're looking at $1.08 billion worth of volume in 24 hours. So that feels and looks good. Um, Volume to market cap ratio, it's looking a lot better, showing about a 13 or almost 14% volume to market cap ratio, showing the level of popularity that it does have, right? Again, I said Kronos is way too big to be worth 5 cents, and it honestly is, right? You look at how many people are following this, just following it. You have 800,000 people that are following it. It's like looking at a meme coin, right? With the popularity. You see Shiba Inu that has 1.5, 1.6, I don't even know how much it has now, but over a million followers and holders. But then you're looking at Cronos and it has 800,000, right? It has that popularity because Cronos is um, a bigger player in the game, right? It should be a even larger player in the game, right? Not just a $7.8 billion market cap, but multiple tens of billions of dollars, if not hundreds of billions of dollars, right? So, especially with what crypto.com is. So the movement, again, let's look at the last 7 days. So the movement, we've seen this go from about 16. Actually, let's look back here from 14 in the last 7 days to kind of picking up a little bit to 15, seeing it get up to about 16, dropping down again to 15 before breaking out up to that 20 level. Consolidation you see within here, it did pull back to, again, about 19 or so, 19.6. But then increased again to 20 and then back down to 19, 19.6, 19.7, before increasing back up to this 23 mark. I want to see it go a lot further than where it is. Again, it should be worth a lot more. Hey, can you get out? You're not getting that food. What are you doing? Why are you so aggressive, man? I need to have like Fort Knox or something. I need to have some sort of um, metal container so that they cannot get into the food because um, yesterday Spencer, or one cat with a mustache, he got into the bag of food, so I had to put it in a plastic container. But now he's like biting the plastic container and like trying to rip it apart. So I'm like, what do I even do with it? Do I put it in the garage and then bring it out here every time? Like I don't know. Anyways, we're still seeing some movement. We're at 23.3, up 62% for the last 7 days, um, and now officially at $7.8 billion market cap. So let's see what's happening in the chat, and we'll definitely go through some more information here, especially going through BTCC and the different plays there. All right. Hi, good morning. Good morning to you as well. DJ Poke from Chicago, thank you for watching. Good morning from Lakeland, Florida. Thank you for watching, Kevin. What's going on? I mean, CRO is just running. We got some news yesterday, and now we're seeing it continue to make these moves, and I'm excited about it because obviously I've been holding CRO for quite some time. Whether you're just talking about the $10 per day that I bought or the 400,000 that I have in my possession. Let's see. CRO to the moon, absolutely. Good morning. Good morning to you as well. CRO is running. They need to release in Binance. I don't know if they will. Okay, that's the thing is Binance and crypto.com are just not like on the same page. And maybe they are on the same page, but maybe they're not, right? Because technically crypto.com offers BNB. Like they don't care. They're going to offer everything that they're going to offer. However, Binance does not want to offer CRO, and maybe they will. You never know, right? It was more of a thing when CV was there, but I don't know. I would like them to because that's a huge market. Right? Currently, the largest market that people buy CRO from, let me go ahead and filter. The largest market that people buy CRO from is crypto.com, which makes sense, right? You can stake it and all of that, right? So it fully does make sense. It's about $258 million. But then you have Upbit, that's $245 million. You have Coinbase, that's $104 million. OKX is also big, 90 or $89 million. You have $70 million here for crypto.com again, in a different pairing. Um, so people are buying. I don't know why I thought it said RO, but it's CRO. I was gonna say, what is RO? What is that? But it was just moved over. But yeah, you're seeing a lot of money through crypto.com, through Upbit, through Coinbase, through OKX, and then also CRO to USDT. So majority of that happens on the crypto.com exchange. However, if you had Binance, you would also see a larger market that's definitely more interested in things that are skyrocketing, that have this much potential. So you would see hundreds of millions of dollars that are going through that as well. So yeah, they do need to offer it on Binance, and that would be even a bigger story to kind of push it to 50 cents and push it to 75 and a dollar. But honestly, we look at this and we go, all right, a movement to 23 cents is absolutely fantastic. It's the largest movement we've seen in a long time, which is very true. But there's so much more that this should be doing, right? We should be seeing this not only at a $7 or $8 billion market cap. We should be seeing this at an $80 billion market cap. We should be seeing this at $100 billion market cap. That's where we should be seeing it, right? So this growth that we're going to see is going to be feel like a lot larger, right? Because up to a $16 billion market cap, we're doubling this price, right? Up to a um, up to a $33 billion market cap, we're looking at a dollar. A $50 billion market cap, we're looking at a dollar 50 ish, right? So just continuing to see more and more growth for CRO. It should be in the tens of billions of dollars right now. Um, Even if we haven't seen altcoin season yet, it should be up there. Didn't you put money into every day or something else? Yes, I invested in CRO for 500 days. So this just to kind of check, it was 500 plus days, and then I stopped after it was like a week after they released the 70 billion coins because I didn't know what was going to happen with the dilution. I knew that it was for a reason, but I didn't know that it was going to be kind of for this, and um, this seems like it's going to be more of a huge benefit rather than something that's going to be its downfall. But I was investing in CRO every single day for 500 plus days, and that's over on Coinbase. So I put majority of that on Coinbase. This is where this stands for the uh, let's say 500-day challenge, the $10 a day challenge. Um, it's currently again at 23 cents. My overall balance for this is sitting at about $12,000. Um, because I invested $10 every single day, I was able to gather 50,743 CRO in that time frame. Every single day, I invested in this for 500 plus days. And now my return, my average is sitting at about 10 cents, 9.5 cents. Um, but the gain that I've seen, 140%, $6,784.67 is how much I've gained from that position alone. And honestly, I think with that getting to a dollar, that's going to be $50,000 off of a $5,000 investment, which I'll take, right? It's a 10x from that point. Q4 dollar plus. I want to see it. I can't wait. Hit resistance. We hit resistance. Take a little profit. Weekly close above 20 cents would be great. So it did hit a previous resistance that we saw. So if I go over to, I want to zoom out from what we've seen. I gotta zoom out a little bit further. Maybe even zoom out a little bit further. Mm, how far am I trying to zoom out? It's gotta be a little bit further than that. So before we saw this hit this resistance around 21, but right now it looks like 23 is definitely hitting um, that larger resistance if you actually zoom out a little bit. So you zoom out and you see these large candlesticks that are over there. It's actually has hit, actually has broken through the previous resistance level. That previous resistance level was somewhere around here, the 23.3. It's currently at 23.5, or was at 23.5. It does look like it is pulling back a little bit from that higher point, 23.5 or so. And I want to see it just continue to grow, but you never really know. It all depends. I mean, I feel like the volume has not dissipated. We're still seeing a lot of buy volume in. So I'm not concerned. And also, it's not about the short term. If you're looking for if you had a leverage trade, right? If you had a quick short-term leverage trades, it's like a 50x leverage or something like that. It doesn't hurt to do that, to take profit. But when I'm talking about long-term, it really doesn't matter what's happening right now. I'm not trying to time the market. I want time in the market. So when I look at something that is at 23, wow, ONT came back a lot. But while I'm looking at something that is at this level, right, 23, it's not something that I'm concerned about because I'm looking for a lot more long term rather than the short term that's here. Now ONT came back a ton, and I definitely doubled down on that. I still see that it has the large potential to grow, but it definitely came back quite a bit to where I'm down 57% on that leverage trade. However, if it gets stopped out, it gets stopped out. I'm not going to be concerned about it. I'm not going to be emotional about it. It's just sometimes you have a bad trade. And if you double down on that bad trade, it doesn't really work out. Especially as something did increase quite a bit and the markets don't look, market didn't look as solid, right? I don't know where the entire market is. Give me a second. Bitcoin's up by 1%. Ethereum's up by about 4%. XRP's up by about 4%. Well, 3.5%. So we're seeing some positivity. Would think you would see the positivity in ONT as well, but that's, I mean, not really working out at the moment. We'll see. We will see. That position is not looking good. 300, it's down 57%. And I have a potential chance to lose the entire $604 that is invested into there, which is a lot, right? To throw in, and it's only on a 5x leverage, but a 5x leverage is more than what I would typically do as a longer term play. I would typically do like a 3x leverage or 2x leverage. So it was a little bit more risky. But my liquidation point, I believe, is 15 or 14. Just below 14. Which, let me see. Sorry, I'm just trying to, I know we're talking about CRO, but I want to kind of get a full breakdown on this a little bit to see where that is. Because anything could happen with that low point. We could see it come all the way back down to 12. Especially looking at all the history. But let's see, strong resistance point. This is where my selling point is. So this, I feel like there is a couple of strong points, but definitely is a little bit risky. And when I say a little bit risky, I mean a lot of it risky. So if that gets liquidated, I don't care. I'm gonna live to fight another day, and I'll find a way to I'll see the growth elsewhere. But that might not have been the best play out there. But we'll see. We will see. Especially where I bought at, which was about 18. Which you did see a retracement, right, from the 23 all the way down to about 18. So seeing it down to kind of these lows would suck, but we'll see how it plays out. All right. Anyways, let's go through the chat a little bit more. Do you think CRO will pull back by 20% second week of September? Do I think it will pull back in? So I don't ever look at short-term moves like that. Like I'm typically, if I would, it would be for a leverage trade, and that's not necessarily the short term that I want to look at for those leverage trades. I'm not looking kind of a week out, 2 weeks, 3 weeks out, right? I'm looking at then the next day or so, right? The next day, maybe two. Um, so when it comes to what my strategy of investing is, it's either my short-term leverage trading, or short-term trades in general, which will be 1 or 2 days, or it's the longer term that I'm looking at, right? That I'm looking for different price levels to hit and different selling points to hit. So do I think that it will retrace by 20% second week of September? That's like a few like weeks away. Like that's not something that I mainly look at. So I can't really give you an answer on whether I think it will pull back. Now, when we typically see resistance levels that are hit, we typically do see those pullbacks, right? The 21 level pulling back to like 19, that wasn't a an actual pullback. Typically you see it about 20-25%. So if we see it at 23, which 23.5, which looks like it's a um, resistance level, we could see that potentially pull back to, the 20 or 19 level before increasing back up. Hopefully. And hopefully we don't see that at all. Hopefully we see a lot more, because I think CRO has a lot more push in it, especially for something that sits at an $8 billion market cap when it should be worth $80 billion. So I would expect to see a lot more growth of hundreds of percent before we see an absolute massive pullback. Unless the markets tell me otherwise, right? Unless the markets are like, yeah, we're going to pull back. Then CRO is also included in that. This news is massive. I know. I've been staking for 4 years. Good morning, Matt. Good morning to you as well. Los Angeles in the house. Do you think it will go back down before making another big move? Stay blessed, brother, and thanks. That's kind of answered in the last question. Good morning. I had been listening to you from SHIB to Jasmine days. Fed 5% CRO. Yeah. Good morning. We're from Maryland. Well, thank you for watching for a long time, by the way. Hopefully I didn't gloss over that. I am trying to go through the comments really fast, but I do appreciate you watching from a long time ago. I don't know how many years you've been watching, but it had to have been a while. So I appreciate you. Good morning from Maryland. If CRO doesn't hit $1 by November, something is not right, because this coin is an exchange that is considered a tier one. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of volume and a lot of movement that goes into crypto.com. And I think that honestly, it should already be up in the tens of billions of dollars, even without seeing altcoin season truly thrive. I think it should be. The fact that it's at a $7.8 billion market cap is shocking, right? And I have always been shocked by the fact that CRO can get so low, can be worth, $2 billion, $1 billion market cap. And I'm like, CRO or crypto.com is huge, right? Cronos is a massive part of crypto.com, like everything that they do. And to see that CRO is not seeing the level of just an impact that it should see, right? We're seeing $20 million that's going through this in volume every day, and I'm like, $20 million, like it should see so much more than that. But then it still has the ability to stay at a $2 billion market cap with only $20 million worth of volume. But then now it sees $100 million worth of volume. You should be seeing, 10%, 20%. right? If you see 200, 300, $500 million worth of volume, you should be seeing 100%. Seeing uh, $1 billion worth of volume in 24 hours, we should be seeing hundreds of percent. And I understand the volume or the movement depends on what has, you have more buyers than sellers, um, which, obviously we're going to have both with people that are like, oh, this is the highest it's ever been. I'm going to get out of this play because I don't want to I don't want to get caught in the fact that I'm down. I want to break even or make money out of it. And I'm just going to accept it because they held it for such a long time. And it's cool, right? In any position, you're going to find that. But it should be worth hundreds of billions of, or tens of billions of dollars at least for right now. That's what I believe. Guys, if you haven't had a chance to hit the like button, hit the like button. It does help out. I got 200K CRO and 200K Lion, 2.5 billion VVS Finance. I don't know what VVS is doing. Now, can you speak on Crow with a Knife? You think this will be a Cronos meme? A Crow meme? I don't know. I've heard of it. I've heard people talk about it. I've heard people mention it. I don't know about it though. I haven't looked into it, nor do I have it. Um, I'm sure if it is a meme and has had success in the past, as long as something really, really bad hasn't happened, you should see the same type of movement. If the blue chip crypto ETF happens, could be a big factor on being listed on Binance. I don't see how they can't. The volume will be insane. I don't. This is the thing is I don't think Binance needs the volume. I just think, and they have volume from others, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, just so many other cryptocurrencies that they can hold the largest grudge possible on CRO and just go, no, I don't care what the volume is. I know what I can make. I know what the fees could be. Like I as a business owner, me as a business owner, I would never go, all right, I want to leave revenue on the table because of the fact that I just want to hold a grudge and say that I'm never going to list CRO. But if they're never going to list CRO, they're probably not going to do it. I don't care if you have a blue chip ETF. I don't care if you have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of volume or billions of dollars worth of volume. They're just not going to do it. Would love to see it, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Good morning, Matt. Good morning, CRO fam. Let's go. Good morning to you as well. Been holding CRO for 4 years at 25 cents. Finally got my money back. That's great to hear. Now, at 25 cents per coin, you didn't average down into it at 5 cents because it got down to a really low price, and you're probably like, I don't want to double down on something that's going to collapse. You know, Cristiano Ronaldo will make coin in September. Okay, CRO. Everybody loves CRO. I love CRO. We all love CRO. Hey Matt, are you into memes at all? What are your thoughts on BNB Tiger, BNB Billion, BNB Lion? Um, I'm into memes, but not that far into memes, right? I have like a few top tier memes, some that aren't top tier, right? I have Shiba Inu, I have Pepe. I don't have any Dogecoin. I do have some other kind of lower tier memes that can potentially run quite a bit, like Grok Coin. I have um, Book of Meme. I have that. I have a few other meme coins, but it's not something that's primarily my gain within my portfolio, right? I'm seeing um, a lot more growth in a lot of the utility projects versus the meme coins. But there's so much potential within those meme coins that I have that I'm not counting them out. Who else been holding since 2021? Finally seeing movement. Diamond Hands. I mean, I've been holding for a long time. I don't know if it was since 2021. It might have been a little bit earlier than that. Um, that was one of my first projects. I don't know what these cats are doing, but I hear like plastic getting jarred around, and I think it might be the food container. There have been times where they've knocked that completely over and started dragging it. Like they thought that was gonna, work. I mean, it could have. Will we have a bear market, or will it keep trucking? So altcoin season hasn't happened. I think we will have a bear market, but it won't be as intense as previous bear markets. With all of the ETFs, all of the governmental adoption, the institutional adoption, retail that have been set on seeing this grow and being able to use it, the massive use cases that are there, the potential blue chip crypto ETF and all encompassing ETFs, the more traditionalists that are getting into the market, people believing in actually being able to use it, all of these things plus more should attribute to less of a drop. However, you're still going to have a drop with the Bitcoin halving and or sorry, not Bitcoin
Solo
halving, but
TV
before the
84
Bitcoin halving.
donated $4.99 through Super Chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Don't sleep on WikiCat Met. It's going to get listed on Binance soon. Low market cap with 50x off.
That sounds amazing. If it could get listed on Binance, that's a lot of volume that you could see there. So I wouldn't say I'm not sleeping or I'm sleeping on it. I just haven't made any new purchases. If I see any type of meme play or popular play or something that has potential that I can trade on my leverage trading platforms, I would. But I haven't bought anything new in a while. I think the latest one that I purchased was Magic, I believe, and that was at like 23 cents, and it might be even lower. It might be at like 21 cents, but again, it's for more of the long term rather than just the short term. So I haven't really purchased much, but I don't think I'm sleeping on it. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that a lot. Forget what I was saying. So yeah, I think there's not going to be a bear market, a heavy bear market. I think we will see retracements. It won't be the 90% retracements that we've seen before. It'll be probably no more than 50%. Honestly, I still think that's high, but it'll be no more than 50% after we see altcoin season happen. We're still in Bitcoin season. I know that we see some altcoins that are running, like Ethereum, that's up to a $550 billion market cap. XRP that was at a $200 billion market cap and should be worth more hundreds of billions of dollars. BNB that's over $100 billion, Solana over $100 billion, and we should see some other projects that kind of make their way up there, like Cardano and Chainlink and many others that actually pick up to there. Hopefully, CRO as well. We haven't seen altcoin season yet, and we're going to see it. And when we do, things are going to absolutely explode, and they're going to be up hundreds of percent, right? What's up with the one? What's up? Wait, what's up to one of the CRO legends, Matt? Oh, what's up to the one C? Okay, got you. I'm a CRO legend. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I don't think I wouldn't classify me as a CRO legend. I've been holding for a while, and I've been doing all different types of things with CRO, especially investing 500 plus days, $10 a day, basically 500 days, adding a zero, $5,000 that I invested into it. And now I'm up $6,000 on that investment, which is great because now after doing my comparison, which I did maybe 2 days ago before CRO started really running, I was up $3,000, which is like 66 or 64% of my original investment. When it comes to the stock market, I was only up 3% on that play for 500 days. Now, typically you're going to see, around 10% per year, so it should be about 20% ish. But it wasn't the best year. It was more of a down year for, honestly, the markets in general. So it didn't look great for that. But I was only up, I think, yes, at 3% from what my original investment was. So the comparison was large, but now the comparison is even larger, right? It's a larger impact where I'm up 140% versus the 60%, and that's within 2 years. Um, Mid-September is when I believe small caps are going to run. I hope so. I would love to see it. Some think a crash next year. Some think a spring bounce. What do you think? So what we typically see and what we have seen is around the May June time frame. When you see things explode, you really only have a short period of time before things start to fall, right? You look at the last one we really saw, like the end of the year going into the new year all the way up through April and May. I think May was like the high point, May 2021, before it really started to decrease, and that's when it started to decline. Now that was also because of FTX and the negativity happened there, and many people that were like, look, this is kind of that start. This is the downfall of the crypto market, and a lot of people started to kind of get out of that. Um, but it's tough. It's really, really tough to say when that's going to happen. I don't want to say it's going to happen in the same time frame. Sorry, but I'm ready for it, right? And my overall gains and what I'm trying to get is based on price. It's not based on timelines. So whether we hit these prices or not, um, I'm going to take profit as I hit those prices. I don't care that it gets to now for meme coins. It may be a little bit more of a tricky situation because it's about um, having that window, that meme coin window, and making money from that. This is why I have a lot of money in, a lot more money in higher tier meme coins rather than the lower tier ones. Um, because if I had ones in the lower tier ones, I would have to gauge kind of every move and see it explode and go, okay, I'm done with that. Get out of this play, go into the next play or something like that. If it's something that's higher tier meme coins, it can react with altcoin season and have a um, major run, for maybe hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars, which would be fantastic. Um, so to answer the question, I don't know if I want to say like, oh, we're gonna see it explode through the entire year. Um, what I want to say is that May time frame, June time frame may be something that we start seeing a little bit of a downfall within crypto. But but again, my movement, my gains, and all of that is based on price. So if it only gets to, let's say the markets get to a $10 trillion market cap by that time and everything really, really explodes. Um, if XRP gets to a level of $5, that I'm taking a quarter of my position. You know, if CRO and when CRO gets to a level of $1, I take a portion of my position. I don't know, I forget what it is, but I take a portion of my position, right? Um, so like through time and through prices, that's when I'll start to take profit and be able to kind of live to fight another day when the downfall does happen. Because when we do see things that it decrease by, let's say, a max of 50%, I now have the ability to buy back in some of those plays that I truly believe in. And what's crazy is many people have stated from bull market to bull market, um, the top 10 looks a lot different. Looks a lot different than the previous top 10, which I can argue and say that it does look like a lot of the same things are in the top 10. Now, while the top 10 at the previous high, the previous altcoin season peak, Cardano was up there. Cardano was fourth, I believe, because XRP was worth $100 billion at one point. I think $130 billion at one point, and Dogecoin was up there in like fourth place. But then you saw Dogecoin kind of collapse a little bit. You saw ADA that was up there. So I mean, some of the same things are up in that area. But, you know, some other things, some other notable ones, right? Terra Luna Classic was up there in the top 20. But then when things really collapsed, obviously that's out of the top 20. I think that might be even on the second page or third page, something like that. It's like really low. Anyways, good morning. Uh, big ups from Rotterdam. I don't know where that is. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Watching from New Jersey. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. What do you think about WikiCat coin? Again, I haven't looked at it. Is it too late for CRO? I don't think so. I don't think it's too late. It depends on what you're trying to gain from it. But most people will say they'll try and invest and look for the short-term gain and a run for right now. And it's like you have to. For me, I look at it more longer term, especially if you see something that's up, however many percent in the last day. So like if I go to, I scroll down here and I look for where's that? There it is, 2022 by market cap. And you look at it as $7 billion market cap, 23-cent price, and it's currently up in the last day of 44%. That's something where you're like, do you want to invest on that much of a positive day? And that's all depends on what you want, right? If you're looking for long term, this doesn't affect you, right? You're looking for a dollar price point, this doesn't affect you. Looking for a $2, $3 price point, this price doesn't affect you. However, I know that you want to be able to either gather more or stay to where you are positive consistently, right? Where you're seeing your account look green the entire time that you're invested, which is going to be difficult because you got to invest all the way down at the bottom. The only way you can guarantee that is if you were invested at 5 cents. Did CRO burn tokens? So they burned the 70 billion, but then established that. I don't know if there's any newer news for CRO right now. Let me go ahead and type it in. Trump family crypto empire expands with crypto.com partnership. Launch a new crypto treasury. That's 18 hours ago. 42% spike. So there's nothing really new at the moment. Cronos crypto price prediction. Trump media buys $1 billion in CRO. Did they just buy the $1 billion in CRO? Is that what? Now CRO is a Trump sponsored coin. Why do they have to put it that way? What is a good Cronos crypto price prediction for 2025? CRO price is just staged one of its sharpest moves in months, climbing close to 40% in 24 hours and breaking past the 20-cent mark. Apologize. Apologize? Say sorry to Matt Damon. Okay. Matt, if you're reading this, which I strongly suspect you are, but I would never assume because I respect you. I've always believed in you. What is going on here? Is this the person that's apologizing? Anyways, the fuel came from Trump Media, which disclosed a $1 billion play on CRO or Cronos, or 6.31 billion tokens, folded into its ecosystem. Here's where 99 Bitcoin analysts believe the CRO price will go by the end of 2025. Spoilers, you haven't seen anything yet. I mean, that sounds good to me. Let's just look for the actual price prediction. Is that it? Trump Media triggered a 1,060% surge in daily trading volume for Cronos crypto, okay? With a CRO turnover topping $551 million, according to CoinGecko. On-chain activity also spiked, with active addresses hitting 20,465. I feel like there should be more active addresses. August 2022, the highest in more than a year per Chronos scan. I mean, I feel like CRO doesn't see as much active addresses because most people are just staking and holding. But you should still see some activity because as you're staking, you're getting more that's fueled into there. Um, ETF speculation has added fuel. The SEC recently delayed Trump Media's proposed crypto blue chip ETF, which includes 5% CRO crypto allocation, in until October 8th. Another filing from Canary Capital for a staked CRO ETF is still pending. Even with delays, CRO's inclusion cements its reputation as a compliance-friendly asset. Historic day for CRO. Trump Media Group CRO strategy announced $6.42 billion US dollar Treasury play. See the press release for more info and blah, 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 blah. I know they're partnered with Yorkville and whatnot. So let's look for their predictions. Do they have a prediction? Is this where their prediction? Coin analysts now eye the 22 cent as an immediate resistance, which we surpassed. If Trump Media follows through with staking billions of CRO and embedding into True Social, the supply shock could drive a multi-week rally. With Trump's backing now baked into the narrative, Cronos is positioning itself as a candidate for the top 10 at the current market caps. That would imply a 2 to 3x move, which is well within reach by year-end momentum hold. So they're thinking somewhere around the 50 to 60 cent mark because they haven't actually disclosed what they believe that number will be, right? Not a specific number breakdown, which maybe we'll have to get into where we see things at for maybe the next video or something. But it's interesting. There's nothing really new that's happening right now, but that's what we have. Sierra was crazy. It was crazy yesterday, but the bear's coming. I mean, we see $1 billion that's going in today, so we do see some negative movement there, though. I've been buying CRO since 2019, sold last year and bought back in when it retraced to you sold when it increased and then when it retraced to 9.5 cents, almost tripled my bag. That's phenomenal. So you sold and then put all of that money back in there at a lower level. So that's amazing. If you can truly time the market and gather more CRO or gather more of that position that you believe in, that's phenomenal, right? That's what I would want to do and continue to do. But also, once you sell, you have to deal with now potentially short-term taxes, right? So like say if I always want to do that, but as you get to having more money and more gains within it, it's now more taxes, especially with the fact that you sold. It is, hopefully that was long term. I guess that was long term. And now that you bought back in when it retraced, you now kind of have to wait it out, or else you're going to see more taxes that are taken out, right? Because let's say you put in, I don't know, $100,000, right? You put in $100,000, it grew to 10x, and you have $1 million. You made $900,000 out of it. You then took that and then reinvested, and now you were able to gather so much more that at the previous prices, while it would have been $100,000, you now have I don't know. I'm trying to think of how that math works. But you're adding in and you're doubling the amount that you had. So now at these prices again, it would be worth $2 million, right? You were able to double your bag that you had. you doubling that bag, you pay taxes on the 900,000, which would be 20%, and you also include state and local and all that stuff for long term, right? But now you still have the amount in there that now is considered short term, right? So while you're still gaining something, you're still now paying a lot more in taxes over the short term period, which you have more CRO at. So or more of whatever cryptocurrency you're at. So it's a little bit of a tricky situation because what's good though is the fact that you can hold that for a longer period of time. The problem that you have here is that you have to pay taxes on the money that you already sold or the cryptocurrency that you already sold. So if all of it is held up in crypto, you have to kind of cross your fingers that you're at a higher point when um, when taxes are happening, when you have to pay taxes, which you have a 4 month window, but still. Sorry, I'm way behind. Brad and Chris have been in the White House, so yeah. How's golf going, man? Golf is going pretty good. Yesterday was really good. We did a 2 man scramble, which typically we do our 2 man scramble and we're over par. We're like our worst that we've done. It's a 9 hole scramble, and we've had 8 over par. I think it was our worst. Almost bogeyed every hole for a 2 man scramble. That's not great because you have two chances to hit. Um, but the last few times we've been getting better and better, right? I think two rounds ago we shot like a 4 over, and then the last one that we did was like a 2 over, 1 over, and I was like, okay, we're getting better, but we've never shot even par throughout our history of playing the 9 hole scramble. Never. We've always had one bogey, and if we've had any birdies, we were 2 under at one point, but then we collapsed on like 1 or 2 holes. Um, so it wasn't good. But yesterday I was playing really well. I was hitting basically every green. My irons were dialed in. My driver was I was really hitting it far, so I was excited. And I was putting really well. So I was like, everything's like great for me. But then when I hit a bad shot, um, my father-in-law hit a really good shot, right? So it just seemed to work out to where if I hit a bad shot, he was there for um, something that can help us at least have something in play, or he'll hit the green and I didn't hit the green. Sometimes there was 1 or 2 shots where I bladed it and he got it close enough to the green or on the green that we had a putt or a chip at it. I was chipping really well. He was chipping really well. We had a par five. I think it was the last 2 holes. We were 1 over par going into um, the par five, seventh or hole, eighth hole. Yeah. Um, and he hit a good drive, got us down there where we had 220 into the green. He hit a safe shot because there was a creek before it, and then I hit my 3 wood to get us either on the green or near the green. And I was to the left side of the green. We chipped. We both had a good chip. He had a really good chip that got us within, I don't know, uh, 4 feet or so. We made the putt. We ended up having a birdie, so we brought us down to even par. We were like, we're excited. But then came the par three uphill, 140 yards, or 100, yeah, 140 yards. Doesn't seem like it's, or 150 yards. Doesn't seem like it's a daunting shot at all. We've played that hole. We've done well. But both of us hit a bad tee shot. He hit one that was short. I hit one that was to the right side of the green, but it was like in the bunker. And then if you also hit towards the green, it would roll off the green, right? It was above the hole. Once you landed on the green, it runs away. So we chose to go with his shot, which was lower at the bottom of the hill. We both hit a shot up there, probably had like a 35-foot putt, 35 to 40-foot putt. I'll tell you, I wasn't confident. and it was for par. So if we miss this, if we miss that putt, um, we then are one over and we tied our best score and we still haven't ever been even. Um, so then 40 feet, um, I line up the putt because I typically go first. He's usually a better putter than me. Um, when we lined up the putt, I wasn't confident. I'll tell you that. He was like, I think we can make it. We can do it. I wasn't confident at all because it's 40 feet. It's like how now it was only right to left, so we knew the direction. Um, and I was like, I have to hit the putt confidently. So I hit the putt, ended up draining it for 40 feet, and I was ecstatic. That's the longest putt that I've made in a very, very long time. And for it to come on the last day that we're doing this two-man scramble golf tournament and get us to even par, I was just I was so hyped, and I'm still hyped today. You can see that I remembered every single thing about that. Um, but yeah, it was pretty great. But I was hitting great shots until we got to that final hole, and I'm just glad my putting like it worked, and it was because of him helping me line up because I saw it a little bit more right to left. He saw it at the line that I originally saw it on, and he was like, "No, that's the line. You got it." And I hit it on that line, and it was perfect. It drops right in the cup. So I was like, yeah, I was excited. Thank you for asking about golf. I mean, it was fun yesterday. My average buy was in 11 cents, or buy-in was 11 cents for CRO. I'm chilling right now, CRO to $100. Would love to see that, but CRO to $100 is a high market cap. Can you imagine words have been spoken? Wait, you can imagine words have been spoken. I don't know, maybe I'm reading that wrong. Um, we are 125 cent mark. We break that. I'll see y'all at 40. Where are we at right now? I haven't checked in a while. It looks like we have retraced a little bit from the 24 cent level because we are about 23.9, and it just pulled back a little bit to 22.8. So we're looking at about 23 from the 24 cent level, which is not concerning at all. Hey Matt, any thoughts on Zepec network? No, I've heard people mention it, but I don't have any thoughts on it. Matt, how altcoin season will happen? How altcoin season will happen when we have total 19 million coins. There's no altcoins, I think. There's no altcoin. Like there's no altcoin season. I don't know what you're saying there. I apologize for not understanding it. Um, Hi, new to your channel. Do you do challenges like this every year? No, I mean I try to do challenges um at times with certain plays. Hey, Spencer. Spencer, stop doing that. Give me a second. Do I do challenges like that every year? No, I don't. Um, I've done challenges off and on. Right now, I have like 100K challenge in my what's it called? My BTCC account, where I'm looking to grow $500 to 100K with investing into different plays, different leverage trading plays, whether it's a 2x leverage, 3x leverage, 5x leverage, 10, 20x leverage, whatever it is. Looking to do that. Speaking of that, if you guys want to check out BTCC, feel free to do so. With my link, you'll get a 10% deposit bonus. Extra bonuses up to $10,055, 40% lower trading fees, all that stuff. So feel free to check that out. And you can leverage trade, you can trade outright, you can demo trade if you want to test your strategy. It is honestly a very, very good platform. And it helps out the channel. Obviously, they have a sponsorship with me. So if you guys could, it would help me out, and it would also help yourself out because you have a platform that I think is a really good platform. um, but yeah, I have a couple of trades on here. One that's actually down quite a bit. This is the most I've been down on a play in a while. Um, I don't know what that was. I did do a 5x leverage. I typically would do a 2 to 3x leverage. But I also bought at a high point for ONT, which is not something I typically do. I wait for a retracement, and I should have waited for this retracement to about 16, which I saw that, but I was like, well, um, it looks like it's running a little bit more, and it may run even more than that. This cat behind me is just doing something, and I don't know what she's doing. It's I don't know, it's weird. But I have other plays that are up by 2%, up by 240%, or 37%, or 400%, 300%. So I've been able to grow $500 to $5,000 at the moment. And hopefully I don't lose out on this $604 that's here because it's down 50%. Um, but I have until about 14, high 14s before that gets liquidated. I would like that to not be the case, but you never really know. You've seen low levels with this, you've seen high levels with this. And that's what leverage trading is all about. It's like you can get liquidated at some of these low levels. If you own outright, you don't get liquidated, right? You own it, and whatever the price is whatever you have. But as it grows, you can gain a lot more, right? So for leverage trading, you 2x that gain, or 3x that gain, or 5x that gain that you could have had. The issue is that you're putting what you have at risk, because if it drops by 20%, or it drops by 33%, or it drops by 50%, you lose everything that you invested into it, rather than just seeing a unrealized loss. You know what I mean? But that's my strategy, is to get liquidated. If it goes down to a point to where it gets liquidated, then I know that I put through too much of an aggressive trade, and I learned from that situation. Um, but that will be the first major loss that I've taken on this account, if that's the case. And again, not going to I'm not going to say that it always has to be positive. It's more of a long term with a 5x leverage, but anything could happen, and I've seen it happen before, so it's fine. um, let's see. What am I doing here? Cronos. I wanted to continue to go through the channel. I did a very similar thing. I invested a pair, minimum of $10. Yeah, a pair minimum of $10 a day at times. I added $250 a week. Interesting. Yeah, I added $250 a week is a lot, right? And right now I'm investing $30 a day into SCHD, but that's over on the stock side, the ETF side. But a bare minimum, got you. A bare minimum of $10 a day at times. Added $250 a week. Yeah, I would typically add about $300 a month on CRO, and right now I'm adding a lot. I don't even know how much it is. I haven't done the math, but it's a lot of money. It's like every 10 days it's $300, so about 900-ish dollars a day, or sorry, a month on SCHD. When will the $6 billion be added to the market cap for CRO? Anyone know? CRO is at $8 billion market cap, meaning that adding $6 billion in value for CRO, minimum of 50 cents per coin. I don't know if that's how that math works, right? And also the inflow of money. So this is more of the expectation of when you see that kind of being held up. I don't know the answer to that, because it's only $1 billion that's being added in tokens, and then $5 billion as a line of credit, from what I understand. But then there's another portion, I forget what it's in, but yeah, it's not all going to be in CRO, not the 6 total billion that's there. And it's I also don't know if it's out of the circulating supply that they already have, or if it's out of the total supply that they had, right? If they're looking to buy it directly from, crypto.com, are they buying it out of the max supply? Well, that is potential spam. I get a potential spam call every day. Tired of it, honestly. Do you think that sometimes in future XRP will be the number one coin? Absolutely. I've said that plenty of times, and people can doubt me and they can say, Matt, you're stupid for thinking that. That's fine. You can think I'm stupid for thinking it, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? Um, I still think XRP is going to be heavily valuable, whether it becomes more valuable than BTC or ETH in market cap, or you're seeing it at multiple trillions of dollars worth of a level. If it doesn't become more valuable than um, this, I don't know why she's stomping upstairs. If it doesn't become more valuable than it, then that means that BTC just had a lot more value on the table, and then people are still seeing the continuation of that value, growing it to a $10 trillion market cap. Because I see XRP being worth multiple trillions as well, 5 to 10, maybe even further than that, $1 trillion market cap with the use that we can see there. So if we're getting a full understanding of what XRP will be worth, I just think that BTC will kind of flatline, Ethereum will kind of flatline in a way, and be worth peaks, and then XRP will exceed that peak. That's what I think. Right now, again, anything could happen. We don't know of all of the things that are going to take place there. This is just what I believe in. But people can say it all the time. They can go, "Hey Matt, you're dumb and you should just stop speaking." Well, I'm not. I'm going to keep speaking, and I'm going to keep believing in what I want to believe in. If I like XRP as a project, I'm going to tell you I like it. If I think that's going to be worth more than Bitcoin, I'm going to tell you that as well. Um, but again, that's the opinion that you could have. That's your opinion. If you think it is, great. If you think it isn't, great. But yes, to answer your question, there might be millions of cryptos this time around, but the top 100 coins has 70% of the market cap. Yeah, I mean, there might be millions of cryptos this time around. I don't think there's millions. I think there's tens of thousands. How many cryptocurrencies exist? Um, the first cryptocurrency was Bitcoin, which was first released open sourced in 2009. As of June 2023, there are more than 25,000 other cryptocurrencies in the market, which more than 40 had a market capitalization exceeding 1 billion. I don't want to know 2023. It's 2025. That was 2 years ago. Um, in mid 2025, the exact number of cryptocurrency varies depending on the source, but estimated range from over 10,000 to more than 37 million total created tokens, with significantly fewer that are still active, a significant value, or have a significant value. For example, Demand Sage cites 17,151 cryptocurrencies, while Tangem indicates over 37 million unique creations by July 2025. No, I guess you're right. But ones that are active and having a significant value. Because there are ones out there that don't have a significant value that are sitting at, a $1,000 market cap, and ones that are not active, where they still have a market cap and still have the liquidity, but don't have any new investors into it. nor do they have traction or marketing or anything like that. But that's interesting. I didn't know there was that many cryptocurrencies because I always look at it as whatever these viewing sites actually see and offer. Those are the ones that I look at as the amount of cryptocurrencies that are out there. But I guess there are millions. ISO underdogs. CR to $1. Didn't you once mention crab coin? No. Crab coin? No. Doesn't sound familiar at all. You mean crap coin? No, I still haven't. I thought they brought it back. Wait, I thought they brought it at half or bought it at half the price, and the rest is credit line that they might buy more. Not sure, but I'm no professional. Yeah, I don't think they're buying it at half the price. I think they're buying it at the full value of what it is. Um, but it's or the full value of what it was. I don't know. They're just gonna obtain it probably from crypto.com themselves. How did you like that last tip? Um, did your own research, just asking to see if it is on your radar. No shill. If you know, you know. I don't know what you're talking about. Taxes I sent ASAP after collecting, so it can gain some interest. Taxes you sent ASAP after collecting. You sent to where? What if you have 100K? It doubles, sell half. Would you still pay taxes after withdrawing your net, and your profit is still invested? Yes, because you get taxed on the coins that you sold. So let's say you have 100,000 coins that are worth 50 cents. It gets to a $1 um, spot where it's now worth $100,000. Your profit is $50,000 on that. However, you decided to sell half of it. You sold 50,000 coins instead of 100,000 coins. That's worth $50,000. Now, previously, that 50,000 coins would be worth $25,000, right? Because 50 cents per coin where you bought. Now you have a profit of $25,000. So it's always on the coins that you sell, not on the total profit that you have. So same thing that goes in the stock market. If you have one share that grows to $5 million, right, and you paid $1 million for it, right, you would then pay taxes on that one share that you sold and the profit that you had on that one share, which is $4 million. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, that's what you would get. So a lot of times people would look at it and go, "Oh, I made $1 million worth of profit. What if I don't sell my profit?" That's not how that works, right? You may think of it that way, but and it may feel better that way because you're like, I gathered my initial investment back. But when you gather your initial investment back, you have to factor in taxes. So whenever you see me say I'm getting my initial investment, a lot of times I'm also adding in what the taxes would be into that, where I'm not just taking, so for XRP, for instance, right? You know, I don't really know. I would have to calculate what that is based on what Coinbase has it as, and it'll always be based on what Coinbase has it as. But let's say it's 50 cents, right? And 50 cents per coin. Let me go ahead and do the math here. So it's 50 cents per coin of what I had, and let's say I have 50,000. How much am I looking at this out? So 50,000, right? So 50,000 coins. Now, at a price of 50 cents, 50,000 coins multiplied by the 50 cents, you're looking at $25,000. Now, if I have that same 50 coins and it's also at a $5 price point, and let's do dollars, $5 price point, it would give me $250,000. Now, while that was worth so much, I still have to now like pay taxes on that total. So I'm looking to gain whatever my initial investment was of the total thing. My total initial investment, so say it was 200,000 that I have, or yeah, 200,000. Come on, why is it not showing as that? There we go. 200,000, and that was at an average of 52 cents. Right? I know that was the case. Where if I look at that, and I know technically my average is 122, which will factor in as well. So let me just see what that is if that was the case, and I'll bring that up. So that would potentially be 104,000 is what I put in there, right? However, my cost basis is 122, $1.22 at the moment, which means that my overall would be 244,000 is what that's looking at. $1.22, 244,000 is what the initial investment was, right? Now, if I go to today, obviously that's worth a lot more and where that is. So I'm looking to get my initial investment back. But if I look at that, I'm looking at the taxes portion of it. So even if I give myself, let's say it's 50,000 at $1.22, that's still $61,000 for what I invested. So that means that anything over that, this 250 divided by 61, not divided by, minus 61,000 would be $189,000 worth of profit. My original investment of 61,000 on that $50,000 investment, or 50,000 coins, would be 61,000, meaning that everything there, 189,000, would be profit. So I would need to pay taxes on that. But I have enough to cover the taxes on that total amount for that long-term play within it. So that's kind of the way that I look at it. Is I'm always looking for the ability to get my initial investment, but then also have the amount to cover taxes in the end, if that makes sense. Obviously, there could be more math that goes into that, but ultimately, I will be able to take my initial investment by the first go, because I'm only taking a portion of that. Now, I still have to factor in taxes, so the total initial investment wouldn't be taken, but it would be close to it, right? And then by the second go, the second sell point, wherever that is, I would then have the ability to fully take my initial investment. But yeah, hopefully that kind of explains some things. Taxes are, I kind of hate taxes, but I do like taxes at the same time. The reason being is because I feel like you should have taxes to be used in, for roads and for improvements and just government support as well. However, don't know how much is always being used towards that. And also, it's a lot of money. Like, you just do simple math and break down how many working Americans we have, and you just multiply that by one, right? I think working Americans, we have like 190 million. Might be more than that. There's 163 million. 163 million multiplied by one is $163 million going into many, whether it's government programs or fixing roads or whatever, right? And that's just saying that you paid $1 per paycheck that you get, and that's multiplied by one, multiplied by 52. And I love just thinking about things like this. So 163 million multiplied by 1 multiplied by 52 equals 163 million. You multiply by 1, which is 163 million, multiplied by 52. Oh, I did that wrong. So we'd be adding up a lot of zeros to this. What, 8.4 billion? $8.4 billion? Is that right? Because I didn't add all the zeros, but still. Yeah, 8.4, almost $8.5 billion. And that's just adding, multiplying it by 1 for 52. That's $8.4 billion per year if you paid $1 in taxes per week that you got paid. However, let's say that that's more than that. And some people get paid bi-weekly, so let's just go with that. But let's, at $1 is $1. Let's say that it's $63. Right? It's a lot of money that goes into government programs and a lot of things. It's like, how could you physically use that much towards all these things and continue to get taxes from these pay periods, as well as getting taxes from people that won the lottery, um, from from people that are sending money to other people, from people that made money from cryptocurrency, from long-term capital gains tax and short-term capital gains tax and business taxes and all. Like, how isn't our world completely made out of like silver at this point? Like, I don't I don't know. It's funny. Loving the bullish right now on CRO. It's super easy to send away, uh, send anyway, right? On on the IRS site. Yeah, I guess that's true. Time to reload again. Good morning. Are we still exiting in November? Are we still exiting in November? Never said I was exiting in November. When did I say that? After months of cussing CRO, I forgive. Wait, I forgive it now. I loaded up 2 weeks ago, out of spite. Okay, so you load it up and you have a large amount. That's good. It's This is the thing. There's ups and downs of, investing, and I try to tell people this, where they get stuck in being in the down portion of it, and they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I need this money now, or I want this money now, and I just risked it on everything. They get so impatient when they see negativity, and seeing negativity is a part of investing. Majority of my positions that I've held, and some of them still, right? I've seen negativity within them, a heavy amount of negativity within them, right? But then comes the positive turn, right? When you believed in something, you believed in it for a reason. So continue to hold out for that belief. But it tends to get clouded by everybody else. It's like, CRO is dead, or XRP's dead, or Jasmine Coin's dead, and it's never going to come back. And then when it does, they're like, oh, I should have never given up on it. And then all these people that are saying all these negative things, they still held it, but they were just talking you out of holding it, right? Um, they believed in that position, but sometimes they, especially people on YouTube, they just want the views from the negativity, the negative side of things. Because you can get views from both sides, right? The positive side and the negative side. I choose to, what I believe in is what I believe in. Now, I have talked negatively about positions before, or projects before, based on what has been released and what has been done, but it's more about believing in what you have there. So yeah, that's the part of investing that, especially new people, don't understand. Tax is theft, full stop. I hear you. I hear you. Ronaldo get a coin? Yeah, I don't know. Are you still holding Loop Ring by chance? Yes, I still have Loop Ring. It's over in my crypto.com. I also had it in a Loop Ring wallet, but I don't know how to access that anymore. So that kind of sucks because that should be like a few, maybe 1,000 or two, like a couple $1,000s. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go and explore and see how to. It should be easy to access it. But let me go to my assets and let me bring up Loop Ring. So I'm still holding. What price is that? 21. Loop Ring is at 8 cents. I'm down $1,000 on this, but I have 20,000 Loop Ring in my possession. So yeah, still $1,794 worth. And I think it will and should be worth more. I bought 20,000 November 2024. I didn't realize it was that far ago, but I had a lot in 2021, and then all of that is over on the Loop Ring wallet, and again, I just haven't accessed it. Um, are you using bots for your trading? No, I'm doing it myself. I think it's a total supply at a discount price. There's no altcoin season. There are a lot of coins in the market. Just because there's a lot of coins doesn't mean that you won't see an altcoin season. Just because when there is a lot of coins, yes, there's millions of coins that are in the market, as I just found out. Um, Wait, is CRO a US token? It's not a US token, no. CRO or crypto.com is not a US exchange. It's um, you can use it in the US. You can't really, I don't think you can still use the actual exchange in the US. Um, but it's not a US token, no. Do you think, do you still own Clapcat token? I don't. I don't know about still. I don't think I ever did. Why XRP so weak? Case N, but nothing burger. Um, so XRP, a lot of people believe that the price that the case ending was already priced in, which I think to a portion, yes, people believe that the case kind of ended when you had a change of hands in the SEC, right? Um, they kind of believed, yeah, this is pretty much over, and you have clarity, and you have Brad in the White House, and Brad in every conversation there. So it's like people believe that that was the case, but it's not it's not over with that, right? The case ending, yes, I can say that that was probably priced in a way because people believe that it already was over. There were a lot of people that didn't even check news because they're like, yeah, we want the case to end, we want the case to end, and we want this to happen, and how much are they gonna end up paying, or can we have full clarity and just kind of knock everything off? But that was all assumed that that would happen. Now you start to move into actual use cases. It's not just about the short term, oh, case ends. No, because they're already still making these moves to make bigger partnerships and establish larger use cases and be have a bigger impact in economies and all of those things. So I don't think it's weak by any means. It's never been weak. We're still seeing billions of dollars that are flowing in daily volume. Um, and we'll see a lot more as time goes on. Now we're getting into more of the utility phase where most of the strength comes from how is XRP going to be utilized? How is Ripple going to grow? How is it going to get to this level, right? That's kind of where we stand with XRP. It's not weak, not weak at all. Um, you only get taxed on what you sell slash transfer. Yes. So if you currently hold it, you're not getting taxed on that. So it's all by the coins. That's why they break it down that way. And also, I mean, if you're using a platform that doesn't necessarily track it, it's up to you to track what the price of that was. more platforms have become have been able to track those things, even down to MetaMask has started to do something with that. So wallets have been kind of updating themselves to show what the gains are within those positions and what you had. Um, but there's still only a few platforms that actually give you the documentation so that you can um, give to Coinbase or whatever, right? You only get taxed on what you. I read that. Um, Trump still forgiving taxes on U.S. coins? Not that I know of. I didn't know he was. Good morning, Matt. Good morning to you as well. Are you getting the next card up, bro? What next card up? Taylor Swift trending way over CRO. That's nowhere to be seen. The world I live in now. Interesting. And factor that the tax bracket percentage you'll be in, the more you cash in at. Yeah, that's true. Great hat, Matt. Thank you. It's just a simple, I think it's a Nike hat. Simple hat. Sometimes I don't feel like doing my hair in the morning, so I just throw on a hat. Especially when I wake up. I woke up at 4:30 today, but then went right back to sleep. Realized that Erica's putting the kids on the bus, so I don't have to deal with that. Um, but yeah, did you guys get a chance to hit the like button? Because we got 100 people that are here. We got um, 153 likes, so we got a good amount of likes. Especially when it comes to the total views, which is about 1,200 or 1,300, seeing more than the 10% ratio for likes to view ratio. So I'm excited about that. Thank you guys for hitting the like button and doing all that you can. Um, Hopefully, we see positivity as the stock market opens up because my let me see where my Robinhood account. My Robinhood account has always been up and down. It's always been up and down. Where recently we hit 180,000, which is fantastic. Um, and it went over that. It was like 181, 182. But in the last week or so, it's been down. I guess total it's been up, but it actually was up to 182. But it's down from that 182 down to 180. So things have fallen quite a bit, and I hope we see some more positivity in the stock market. Um, I want to invest more into like the S&P 500, um, more into the SPY, but I know I don't get a large return from investing into the SPY. It's literally 1%, so it's not going to pay me a crazy amount. Um, but they invest into a lot of the biggest names that you know, right? Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Meta, um, Google. Is that two Googles? Alphabet Class C, Alphabet Class A. You have Tesla they're investing into, Berkshire Hathaway. So a lot of those, this is the top 37 or 38% of the assets that they're holding. Majority of these assets are in technology, 13 in financial services. I want more of a technology sector, but without investing into the S&P 500. I want something that's going to pay me a decent amount in dividends, but um, you know, still track a lot of those same things, right? Still track all of the technology sector. Um, See, but I want to top tech sector ETFs with dividend. I want a higher dividend yield. How many bull runs have you been through? One. one bull run. I haven't been through many others. And from what I understand, all of the ones that have happened, um, there have been massive changes through it because there have been more and more coins and more and more creation, not necessarily just creation of coins, but creation of different technology, competing technology. You know what I mean? So, uh, First Trust Nasdaq Technology Dividend Index Fund. Let me see. Uh, TDIV, TDIV. Let's see what that looks like. So it's currently at $92.31. Uh, Mainly technology, 85% in technology. That's crazy. Um, the top 55%. Oracle is the highest. Broadcom. You have Microsoft, IBM, and they only pay a 1.64% dividend. That's not really high at all. But if we look over the last 5 years, it's grown by 100%. Max, it's grown by 363% over time because technology is obviously very large. If we look at 1 year, it's grown by 20%, 3 years, 21%, 18% for 5 years, 15% for 10 years on average. And then since 2012, 15% on average for that many years, 13 years or so. So it's giving you the consistent gains within it, but it's still only paying you a 1.64% dividend yield. That's not something I want to see at least like 2%. But I understand that if you're investing into a lot of these things, that you're in it for more of that consistent growth. And even from, let's say where I invested, where did I invest? It was 2023. 2023. It's about, let's say a year. It's up 20% in the last year. But from the lowest point, I wish I would have seen that. From the lowest point of $64.41, it's at from $64 to $92. We're looking at about a 50% jump in that position alone. And I wish I would have seen it from April 2025 to where we are today. Because right now it's at an even higher point than what it was. But that doesn't look like a bad position. Duplicate that. And we'll have to look more into that. Bought another 600 CRO coins this morning. Well, that's great, I guess. How much do you have in total? How many bull runs? I read that. How many bull runs have been a part of? Again, only one. Sold 20K CRO at 400% profit. That's phenomenal. I'm not gonna hate on anybody's profit. I know that some people will say, "Hey, you sold too early, and that you need to hold on to it and all that." If you like the profit and you're happy with that profit, take it. Right? I'm not going to say that you know it's absolutely the most that you can gain, but for you, it is your decision to do that. And I think if you're taking profit, you should always be happy with whatever profit you take. Um, Methodology attracts the Nasdaq Technology Dividend Index. Hey, potential spam. Why do they keep calling me? It's the same number. Might as well block that number now. Um, Holding 100 dividend paying. Okay, let's check that out. Well, what's the sector allocation? No. Oh wait, it's showing that one. So Fidelity High Dividend ETF, FDVV. Does that FDVV? I have that. So that does have 25% in the technology market. what have I experienced in growth in that? I should have experienced a decent amount. In the last year, it's up by 11%. So yeah, that looks really good. Even from the level of $43 to $55, that looks really, really good. Over 5 years, up by 92%. Over max, it's 122%. Um, 1 year, 13%, 3 years, 15%, 5 years is 18%. Since 2016, it's about 12.8% that you've been able to gain with FDVV. And they pay a decent dividend, which is about 2.9. So that's not horrible at all. I currently have about $8,000 invested into there, which I have a total return of 1,500 or 21%. Um, I might have to put more into that position. Might have to have a shift of money because right now I'm invested into um, SCHD, SC SCHD, which is a Charles Schwab U.S. dividend equity ETF, and I think majority of that is in energy, 10% in technology, 19% in consumer defense. So technology obviously is more of the growing sector that we see, and we're going to see more and more in technology. Um, but SCHD is not that. But I do get paid a decent amount in dividends. It's just my overall gains have kind of suffered, right? If I look at the last year, one full year, and it's actually down by 0.35%, while other things are up by 11%. In the last 5 years, it's up by 46%, and then all history, it's up by 233%. So we've seen some growth over time. Um, and maybe I want to kind of shift it. Because I currently have 1,762 Charles Schwab U.S. dividend equity ETF. I would like to have um, 2,000 shares, but I don't know. My goal was 2,000 shares. I might have to change that. I don't know. I'm getting too far into stocks right now. It's just not something that compares to other things. I like the dividend that I get paid, um, but it's a combination of two, right? I want the dividend as well as being able to have the growth. And I think the places where you can have that is majority in the technology sector, where you get paid a decent dividend from FDVV, but you also have the growth of the technology sector. And maybe I need to have both. I don't know. Because the growth for Charles Schwab over the last 5 years, again, 46%, um, which will give you like an average of, almost 10% per year. So I don't want to give up on that too soon. Maybe just a lot of my money now, my recurring investment has to stop with buying $30 worth of SCHD. Yeah, I think I have to do that. And I'm going to take FDVV and buy $50 worth of this every day. Let's do a recurring investment within that. I want to do, where is it? How do you do that? I know I did it before. I forget how to do it. $5, $50, buy order. I want to do it as a not ad retirement account. Why can't I do a recurring investment? Can I not do that? You place an order of approximately $50 base. Okay, you receive approximately 0.9. Your order will be queued for queued. um, so yeah, I just want to do a recurring investment. Set up recurring. There we go. Amount $50. Starts August 28th. Every market day. Buying power. Directly from my account. And review. Submit. Done. Oh wait, all right. So I have a recurring thing. So it's going to be upcoming activity. Fidelity High Dividend Market ETF has been placed. Let's refresh this and see if it has the recurring. So it does have a recurring buy of $50, and we're going to go with that because it is more of a high dividend ETF or higher dividend ETF, and what they're investing into. They're investing into Nvidia and Microsoft and all that stuff. And I would like to take a lot of the money that I have over there and place it in FDVV because I like what they have offering there. Only 200K CRO coins. Wish I bought more during the bear. Average is under 6 cents. Off topic. What about FL like Flare? 9.3 going live. Is that Flare or is that something else? What's your crypto portfolio worth, Matt? A lot. Um, gotta be at least 100. Gotta be 100 million at least. So you're saying? Also, not 100 million without financial training. So I I don't know if you guys know this. I went to college for um, first for business. Then I got my bachelor's for business with a concentration in finance, um, as well as an accounting degree at the same time. And then I also went for my MBA, where I primarily did a concentration there of a lot of blah, 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 financial courses, rather than just taking a lot of the electives and kind of what I would consider side quests. I hate when people do that, where it's like what you're gonna do, especially during that time where it's like you're in your graduate program, and it's like what you're going to do. So why don't you get more information from um, a lot more seasoned individuals when it comes to your professors and whatnot. Oh, college didn't know. Well done, Matt. Blown away. Yeah, I got my master's in business administration, and dual majored bachelor degrees. It was a lot. I feel like the graduate degree might have been like I could have saved $50,000 or so, maybe a little bit more than that. It was like 60. I could have saved it because honestly, I didn't know where I was going, right? I knew I was making YouTube videos. I knew that I was making money from investing. I didn't know that my primary source of income would come from my investments that I'm making, right? and that my eventual future will be tied up in um, cryptocurrency and stocks and hopefully real estate. I didn't know that that would be kind of the course that I'm the way that I'm going, right? Um, but I'm happy with it. I'm happy that I made every decision, because if I didn't make every decision that I made, who knows where I would be, right? Even though I paid $60,000 for this uh, MBA that I didn't use towards a 9 to 5, um, yeah, it just and maybe it did, right? Because when I was going back to school for my MBA, um, and I was working a 9 to 5 at the time, they kind of priced that into my new deal that I had, right? Where they were looking to kind of upgrade my, um, or at least I would say give me a promotion, but I don't feel like it was, upgrade my title and my responsibilities. And it was all because I was going back for my MBA. So maybe, a few extra years of an extra $15,000 per year was worth it to get me to where I am here today. So I'm happy with that. Definitely don't have $100 million portfolio, so I don't think that that's even close to that number. But that's a lot of money. Yeah. Yo, Matt, thank you for your knowledge on XRP and CRO. I am up, up, up on both. That sounds amazing, Alfredo. I appreciate you saying that. I always like to hear great stories. Um, and just great journeys, and I hope that you continue your investing journey and learn more about the crypto market, learn more about investing into everything stock related stuff as well. I want people to understand that cryptocurrency may not be the end goal for everybody. You might make a decent amount of money, but what do you plan on doing with that money afterwards? Salute from Florida. Thank you for watching. um can't wait to go back to Florida, go back to like Disney. We were just at Disneyland, and Disney World is a lot better. I like Disneyland because I'm a huge Marvel fan. So the Avengers Campus was amazing, and I wanted to spend all my time there. Um, but there's not much that you do over an Avengers Campus. There's like two rides, and then there's like two experiences or something like that, a couple experiences where you have the Avengers to get together and kind of um, get little kids and make them heroes in a way, and they do like poses with the characters and whatnot. And then they have the Spider-Man thing where he gets flown or flung up in the air and drops down, um, and then comes down and takes pictures and stuff. But other than that, there's not really much that you have. You have the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which is always great, and then you also have the Web Slingers ride, which is also a really really good ride in the park. Probably two of the best rides that you can have. Um, but I feel like Disney World is just so much so much better. You have more parks, more food, especially with Epcot and everything. Um, but yeah, it's great. I can't wait to go back. And then we're gonna go to Universal probably later that year. So like two Florida trips. But thank you for watching. But yeah, like I was saying, I think everybody's end goal can be different. Where you invest into cryptocurrency, you make a decent amount of money from cryptocurrency. It's like, what do you do with the money after that? Um, do you set up your retirement account? Do you just buy things and go through the money? And that's where maybe some people struggle with it, right? There's some people will say making the money is the hardest part, and it is very difficult to find the right opportunity to make all that money, to make tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. But I always sit back and I look at it and I'm like, what can I do with that? I could either spend everything on things that I don't have and I want, but then where am I left after that? Right? Um, you can make $300,000, and the the right thing to do would be to pay off debt, get yourself to a point where you are square one, where it feels like when you were a kid and you didn't really have to pay anything. um, then it ends up feeling like that, right? You don't have to pay a mortgage, you only have to pay taxes on that, on your property, which I still think is insane. Once you own your property, you should own your property. You shouldn't have to really pay. But anyways, you would just pay taxes on the property. You would pay your electric bill, your gas bill, just all the bills that you need to pay. But then you wouldn't have that kind of housing expense. It would just be the taxes associated with the upkeep of that property. Also, your net worth skyrockets, right? Because you own your house. The value of that house, if anything happened, you could sell that house and you know that you would have, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. Depending on the size of it, it could be, you know, close to $1 million, right? You never know, especially at the time you decide to sell with how crazy the real estate market has grown over time. Um, but yeah, it's definitely difficult because if you make $200,000, the right thing would be to pay off debts. And if you don't have any debts and you don't have anything that you need to pay off, right? You rent an apartment or something. Maybe now that's where you get established in trying to own your own home, right? Something that's going to give you value, but then also give you a future investment, right? Something that could appreciate in value rather than depreciate. So if you don't own a place, maybe now's the time that you actually do own a place. And if you do own a place and you feel like the loan percentage is just too low compared to what you can do, now that's where you reinvest that money, right? Own I don't own my house, right? I don't have it fully paid off. The reason being is because my interest rate is so low that I can gain more from having that money in the markets. Granted, it hasn't done that because in the last year, I think I'm up 11 or 12%. Let me see. So with this dividend account, I have 180,000 and I'm up 10% over the past 2 years, which is still higher than what I'm paying in interest on my mortgage loan. So technically, I'm still at a positive, which is good. If I wasn't at a positive, then that's where you start to bring in that question, right? You start to say, am I going to, would it have been better for me to just pay off my mortgage loan and not pay any interest? Maybe. That interest could be over time, over 30 years, um, could be hundreds of thousands of dollars, and people don't know that, even though it's only 3% or 2%, or I guess I'm at 3%. Um, but for other people, now you might be paying 7%. And if you're paying 7%, then or 5% or whatever, you're paying a lot more in the end, like a crazy amount more, because in the first 15 years you're paying majority of that interest. But that's where this account stands, right? It's up 16,000. I'm also getting paid in dividends consistently, and that's why I keep it here. But I could pay off my house. I don't have to worry about the mortgage there. But again, I'm getting more from what I'm gaining in these markets from the crypto market. I put a certain amount into Jasmine Coin and I gained 500%. I'm not gaining 500% from paying off my mortgage sooner. Now, what it could do is if I did have that over time, I can consistently invest the money that I would have spent on um, the money that I would have spent on my mortgage into the markets. I could do that because I typically invest all of the money that I have. Any extra money that I have goes right into the markets. So technically, over a year's time, that would be able to save me, I don't know, $24,000 that I can put into the market, which could also grow. So I don't know. I don't know. Right, it's saving me an interest, but then I also have to factor in the amount that I can gain from the savings there. I'll have to do the math again, but the math always came to the point to where I'm still gaining a little bit more than the markets. It's just, what if I decide to continue to put that back in? Um, when in profit, wait, sorry, the crypto ride is all I need. Scary. Well, yeah, that's crypto ride is a lot for sure. When in profit, would it be smart to take some profit or transfer into a stable coin or a or an IRA until I decide to cash out? I think most people including me are a bit unsure about. So so this is the thing. It's like, if you put it into a stable coin, you're still putting money into a market that hasn't been traditionally proven, right? Where it's a position that a lot of people consistently make money off of, or a consistent grower throughout years. This is still something that, is unknown in the long term future. Now, you would assume that stablecoins like USDC and USDT would hold their value, and you're good. But it's still something that, for me, even me, I look at and I'm like, uh, I'm not like, I've seen this area and it's been proven. I see this area and it hasn't been proven, and it doesn't provide any value if it has or hasn't been proven. It provides less value if it hasn't. But if it has been proven, or does show me that it's going to stay at this level, it gives me nothing more than just holding at that level. There's really only downside. There's not upside, right? If you have a position that grows in value, there's that upside as well as the downside. So when you put it into a stable coin, you only have that downside because it's never going to go anywhere further than $1 or $1.01. So that's why I don't really move it to stable coins. I move it to outside of there and out into the broader markets, which then give me uh, a proven concept, as well as the positive side of it and the negative side of it. Does that make sense? Um, so I don't want to invest, or I don't want to put it into a stable coin that could easily come down, but the value of that stable coin is not going to increase. It's a one-sided situation. Now, if you're looking to use stable coins in the end to purchase cryptocurrency or something like that, then maybe. But if you're on places like Kraken or or Coinbase, right? They allow you to trade directly to USD rather than trade to USDC or USDT. You could go directly to USD and own the dollar as a dollar. And I know the dollar gets devalued throughout time, but if you're looking for it to primarily invest into it, it's the same thing with the stablecoin, right? Stablecoin is tracked and follows the dollar, right? Or um, whatever fiat currency you have there. So it tracks it at that level, meaning that if a dollar is devalued, so is the USDC, right? Because it only goes as far as what this is tied to. However, when you're into the stock market and you put it into an ETF or something long term or whatever, and just let it sit there until you're ready, you can gain uh, the positive as well as potentially the negative. Um, but you have a concept that has been proven for years, and decades. So that's kind of where I stand. It's like that. Not I blah blah blah. I can't speak. It's not that I don't believe into the crypto market and the future of the crypto market by taking money out of crypto and putting it into stocks. It's the fact that um, I want to own on all sides of the investment platform or the investment um, sector, let's just say, right? Investing into so many different things. Next is real estate, but I just don't. Only thing I own when it comes to property is my, well, not even own that, but the only thing I get close to owning is my property. Um, I would like to own other properties that actually provide income that I could potentially invest that money into cryptocurrency, which can grow, and then invest that money into the stock market. But right now, it's not it. Eventually, I will. um, the one thing that I want to do, I really would want to do, is own property to where I have a certain amount that gets put aside for maintenance and stuff. Because, like, I look at it this way, right? Um, a lot of other people will start a business because they want to gain profit from it and be able to pay their bills and all that other stuff. Um, and they want to use that profit for their own life, right? Pay their bills, buy new things, all that stuff. I don't want to do that. I don't want to really spend a crazy amount of money on just buying new things at times. I really want to take a lot of that profit that I would gain from maybe a business that's kind of running itself or um, real estate and either put it back into it or make sure that whoever is involved with that will pay less. So, for instance, owning property. If I owned a place that had multiple apartments and whatnot, and I knew the taxes on that place were going to be like $500 for that property, especially like in the city, inner city Reading in a way. Um, I could then take all of the money that's built from those places, and I don't necessarily have to charge them a competitive rate at all, right? I can charge them a lesser rate and just continue to make improvements and continue to make that place better. Um, and also invest
Alfredo
the
Ellis
money in
donated
ways.
$10 through Super
Thank
Chat.
you for the super chat. Oh, you just donated through super chat. You didn't do anything else? Thank you for the super chat, Alfredo. I appreciate that. I thought you were gonna say something, but I do appreciate the super chat. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the channel and growth and all that stuff. So, um, yes, it makes sense. I was trying to avoid the volatility of the market by just securing some profit to keep it stable until further actions. Yeah, I mean, as if you're looking to reinvest into the crypto market, it doesn't hurt, right? But if you're always looking to, like, even if you change it to the regular dollar, like you decide to go and put it into your bank account, that's still only going as far as what a dollar can get you, right? But if you're looking to take that and put it into a stable coin to then reinvest into the market, it's going based off of the dollar, but all of those other things are reacting also based off of the dollar. So it's it's kind of all moving in conjunction, and when it comes to inflation in a way, right? There's no active inflation on it. The inflation would be more on um the cost of goods that you have. So like if you wanted to buy some water, um that's where you would find that inflation at. But if you're going from a dollar back to cryptocurrency, back to a dollar, back to like you're not seeing that affect you at all. The only thing that it would affect is if you get into a stable coin that's not as legit and then it collapses and then you end up losing everything that you put in there. So You don't find that with USDC and USDT, but you might find it with UST or USTC, right? Where it collapsed with Terra Luna Classic. Or you might find it in something else. My brother invested into a stable coin where he lost lost everything he put in there because the stable coin dropped to zero. Nope, all you, brother. Well, I appreciate the super chat a lot, and the comments and just being here. You know, it means the world to me. As I'm new to this, um, as I'm new to this, I did a spot buy of Bitcoin at 116, and when the order came through, it was 118 plus fees. What is the best way to purchase crypto without getting hit with all that? So where did you buy from? You did a spot trade on what platform? Because certain platforms, if you're not buying on the direct exchange, you'll end up buying at a much higher price. I'm holding 403,000 CRO coins. That's amazing. That's fantastic. So you're up quite a bit. I don't know where you bought at, but I would assume you bought at an even lower level. Um, you were able to buy a lot at maybe the 5 cent, 8 cent level or so. But congratulations, Richard. Um, yeah, I know we're on a little bit of a lag, so just let me know. My guy. Is that a robot arm? It's a robot arm? Yeah. Uh, thanks for being here. Um, because the one thing I'll say is like if you buy on like crypto.com or even Coinbase and Kraken, okay, Kraken, did you buy on the exchange, like exchanging USDT or whatever to uh Bitcoin, or did you buy it just on the Kraken platform? So like on your phone app, um, was it on the advanced platform or the regular platform? Hopefully you know. I know you're new to this, so I would imagine you bought on just the regular platform. Um, so just to assume, if you did, buying on the regular platforms like a crypto.com or Coinbase or Kraken, um, you will end up paying a difference, and there will be a gap between the the ask price and the bid price. And a lot of times they will fill that gap with the like largest price possible, right? If they're looking for you to purchase, they make money off of these gaps between it. So when you buy specifically on the exchange side of things, so like um, if I go to Coinbase and I hopefully don't bring up something that I'm not supposed to bring up, but if I go to Coinbase and I'm looking at Loopring here and I'm like, all right, I can buy on here. If you buy on here, most likely you'll get an inflated price because you're buying directly on here and you also don't have anything to compare where the price is and if you're buying market or if you're buying limit order or whatever. Um, but if you go on the advanced platform, let me bring that up, but let me also change back. So yeah, we're good. If you buy on the advanced platform, now this tends to be a little bit more complex, but all you have to do is worry about trading whatever cryptocurrency you want. So if it's BTC, it would be BTC to USD. Whatever you own, it would be United States dollar to BTC. Yeah, on the cell phone, no Kraken Pro. Kraken Pro would have been the best opportunity to do that because one, lower fees. Two, you also get less of the spread, which means that they're giving you a higher price at where you're buying at. So if you go on Kraken Pro and let's say you wanted to buy BTC I click BTC here. You would really don't worry about any of this. You can kind of shrink this down if you need to be, right? Don't worry about the order book. I know there's a lot moving. Don't worry about the trade history. Who cares about that? Don't worry about um, any. You can worry about the price chart if you want to, or whatever's happening there. You don't have to at all. Just go over here and go to what you have. So for me, I don't have USD. I only have USDT. So it'll tell you how much USD you have, and all you want. It'll show you the order type, whether you buy a market, whether you buy limit, if you want to buy at a certain price. Some people will just do limit, and they'll say, I want to buy at a 100 or $111,000 price, $112,000 price. So they'll set a limit order for $112,000, meaning that they will never buy above that $112,000. However, market order is just as good. They'll give you a fill order for close to where the price is. Definitely not $2,000 above where the price was that you were trying to buy. So go over here and type in the amount that you want to put, which may be $1,000. I don't have $1,000. I have insufficient balance. But then they'll give you that. It'll tell you what the fees are, which will be very cheap. And then it'll also tell you how much you're going to gain. And then you would just continue and buy it. But try to use the pro platforms more than buying from the regular advanced platforms. So if I go back to my account and I go back to, I don't know, Cronos. Let's just go to Cronos, just so things don't show that way. If you go back to Cronos and you wanted to buy some, right, and you wanted to buy $1,000 worth, and I decided to go through with it and review my order, and let's see, I don't want to buy now. I want to see all the different detail. No, let's go back here. Limit order. No, I don't want to do that. I'm trying to find all the different detail of it, because it'll show me how much it's. So right now I have Coinbase One. So with my fees that are going through, whatever the fees are, because it's not explaining what the fees are, I currently have. Wait. Give me a second. Just trying to see. So yeah, right now, if I decided to do that, I'm saving $18.40 on $1,000 trade. I mean, that's a lot. But if I did $1,000 trade over on the pro platform, let's bring that back up. I have to keep going back and forth because I don't want to show anything I'm not supposed to show. But if I go to the pro platform and let's say I was using USDT, because I kind of have to use USDT. Let's see, USDT. We can do Bitcoin to USDT, which is another stable coin, so it'll kind of be similar. If I wanted to buy $1,000 worth, 1,000 USDT worth, the estimated fee is only $3.98, right? Versus $18, right? So there's a large difference. And then with Coinbase One, technically, if I'm buying over on regular Coinbase, I would save that. I would pay $0, but I would also be paying an inflated price with the spread, right? The fee spread. So I always factor this into where I'm like, all right, it's not free, it's $4, but I probably have to stop paying for Coinbase One because I don't really make many purchases anymore. But yeah, you know what I mean. So it'd be $4 instead of paying, I don't know, $30 because of the spread, or even more. So it happens on every platform. It's not just Kraken. It's Coinbase. It's Crypto.com. It's all of them. It tends to be worse on Crypto.com. But that's only because you don't have the option for a pro platform or an exchange platform on Crypto.com. So, in summary, Rob, use the Kraken Pro platform more than using the original just Kraken platform, because while the fees may look like they're low on the regular Kraken platform, the spreads can be insanely different. Does that make sense? All right, guys, we are at the 2 hour mark. I think. Oh wait, you know what? Let's see what happens with the market open. I want to see the market make moves or not. I was gonna say we get out of here at 9:30, but maybe we go until about 10. So what's going on in everybody's mind right now? Anybody invested into anything brand new or want me to look at something? Let me know in the comment section and we'll take a look at it. Obviously, if it's too low of a market cap, I'm not gonna bring it up on the screen. We don't really have many people here, so I don't think we'll really have an impact, but potentially people that watch after the fact will see it, and that may be something that, I don't want to, kind of look like I'm promoting in any way. But hopefully that helps, Rob. Sorry that you bought at a certain level and it gave you a higher price. Epic? VeChain? So I think I've looked at Epic Coin, and I've seen so much about Epic Chain that have come up. This is currently up by 3% today. It's at a $74 million market cap. I actually did a video on Epic a while, maybe like a few weeks ago or so. But it's sitting with $20 million worth of volume. It has various places that's available to be traded on: Binance, Crypto.com exchange, KuCoin, 42 other trading pairs that it has, or 42 total trading pairs that it has. Volume to market cap ratio is 26%. It looks like it has the popularity, and I've seen many people that have talked about it. So the popularity is definitely there. And it's something that has my interest a little bit. I don't think I have, maybe I do have some, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I only had the ability to buy on crypto.com, which I don't know if I did buy, even though I talked about it while it was at a lower price. um, VeChain. I haven't looked at VeChain in a while. It's sitting at a $2.13 billion market cap. Unlocked market cap, interesting, is $2.15 billion. All of the supply is out there. Don't have to worry about that. Volume to market cap ratio is 3%. So the popularity is not really showing for what it is. I've seen people love this project. I've never gotten into it or never gotten into buying it, even though I have the ability to buy it. Many people have mentioned it to me, and it currently sits at 2 cents. The highest point that we've seen is a level of 23 cents, which can it get to an $85 billion market cap? I don't know, right? I'm not heavily engulfed in what VeChain does and is, but it does seem interesting at a level of 2 cents if it can find a way to get back to 23 cents. That's a a 10x from where it is, and then from the all-time high, people believe that we're going to see a 2 to 3x over that. Now, market cap wise, you look at about a $15 billion market cap versus the $2 billion market cap that it's at now. But more recent history, we've seen this at a $5 billion market cap. So it has some large growth potential from where it is currently. So I like it. I like just the chart and the potential. But then again, I have to look into more of why it's staying at a low. Is it because altcoin season hasn't happened? Why did it come back from this high point of 6 cents or 7 cents? And doesn't have the ability to get back to some of those points. The popularity doesn't show that it's going to get there, but that could be just recent popularity because the markets have been down, and we're not seeing much in other places as well. Guys, we have 91 people that are here. If you can hit the like button and get me to 200 likes, we're like 3 likes away from 200 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. What's going on in my mind? Is that a lightsaber on the wall? Wonky. Be doing my brain in for 2 hours. Yeah, it's a lightsaber on the wall. I got it from I got it from Disneyland, and I got it built. I like the process of building one, and so it's a nice lightsaber. It's pretty heavy. Honestly, I think it's cool. I feel like they could be doing a better job with like um actions and noise and all that stuff, because it does the same noise over and over again no matter how you swing it. If you can swing it and go, you would expect if you go like that, it would go wong 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 wong, right? It would do that, but it doesn't. It just goes wong 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 wong, and that's the same noise that it makes no matter how you're swinging it. You could just move it slightly and it does that same noise. Like, it's the same noise that it does, but it's cool. I like it. Don't get me wrong. Why has it been doing your brain wrong though? No, when you had it mounted on the wall, it was mounted straight. Yes, it's mounted straight. There's a there's a lightsaber mount that you put it in and it sits on it rather than like lays on it like this, because there's a stopping point at the bottom of it, so it sits like upright rather than any other way. So yeah, that's what you get out of it. Uh, I'm doing what you've talked about. I truly believe that CRO will get to $1 or one USD, even if right now looks far away. I'm going to stick it out or stick with it and continue to invest big on it. Thanks for all you do, bro. Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that a lot. You know, I've when I have a strong feeling about certain positions, CRO, Jasmine Coin, XRP, like I truly believe in them. I've invested into them for certain goals, price goals, game goals, all of those things. So I don't just give up on it because somebody's like, oh, it's gonna fail and it's just not gonna be worth anything. That's not the case. I have my own investment strategy, and that's how it goes. Um, does it cut cows in half? No, it does not. What are your thoughts on VRA, well, Velocity Coin? Uh, is it Velocity or I don't even know what this is. Veracity? Veracity? Is it Veracity? Like this one? The one that's $14 million market cap, and it's sitting at 1016 um by market cap, the ranking by market cap. Let me know if that's it. Um, no, when you had it mounted on the wall, it was mounted straight. Wasn't mounted straight. It is mounted straight. Oh, it wasn't mounted straight. No, it's mounted straight. It's just it it the way it is, it leans. The bottom of it is like a um kind of a point. So it kind of leans one way or the other, and you kind of have to like put it directly in the middle of the thing. And it is mounted straight. It just it's just leaning over. And the way that the angle of the camera is, it's kind of looking at that way. So you're gonna see it differently than how you would see it at the bottom, because the bottom is black. So it's directly in the middle, it's level. It's just the lightsaber tends to lean to one side or the other, because this has to be open enough that I can move around. So it's mounted straight when you put it straight, but it's gonna lean one way or the other. That's how that goes. That's it. Okay. So I'm going to say I don't know what it is, but I'm going to give my honest opinion on breaking down what I see within the chart, the market cap, the supply, and all that stuff. But the market cap currently sits at a $14 million market cap with $19 million worth of volume, showing 136% volume to market cap ratio, showing that it does have a little bit of popularity, even though it is ranked outside of the top 1,000. It does have 137,000 holders there. Now, the fully diluted market cap, right? I don't know where that is. I would say this is it. So the market cap, if the max supply was in circulation, um, fully diluted value. I was going to say it should be fully diluted market cap. Fully diluted value is $148 million, meaning that their supply is about 10% of the total supply. That's not great, right? I always like to see that it has no dilution involved in it. However, this has been out for years. We're talking about from 2019 to where it is today. And we haven't seen much dilution that has gone into it. We have seen some. I don't know as to how much they had there. We have seen some, but we're not seeing like all of it being released. And that's a good deal, but it's still they still have the ability um, to add more and more to the top. Right? It's kind of like what you saw with Jasmine Coin, where a very small amount was introduced, but then they introduced all the rest of it over time. This has had the time to do so, but they haven't. And you're now seeing a little bit of popularity within it. It's not something that speaks to me well. And obviously over here you have somebody that's like, this is a scam, this is a scam, it's a scam, it's a scam, right? Um, and people that hearted it and voted it up there, right? That they're bearish on it and they don't believe in it. I just, but then you have the sentiment that's 87% on the bullish side and 13% on the bearish side. But this is something that does bother me is the 10% of the supply, because no matter where the price is at, 14 or 1%, no, 14% of a penny, um, it doesn't tell me that this is going to get back to a level of 8 cents. It would be great if it did, because that would be a $300 million market cap, and you could be able to take that chance to make so much money. But are you willing to take that chance to say, all right, I invest $1,000 here, it 10x's up to 1 cent, right? And then we see it 10x from that point, or 100x from where we are. So $1,000 could potentially turn into $100,000 if it found a way to do that and get to a level of 8 cents or get to a level of 10 cents again. So CRO diluted, didn't it, a few months back? That's not false. CRO did dilute a little bit, not a few months back. They have the total amount that's in there, but then they have a plan on that total amount that's sitting there. So that's something that sits differently, where you have the plan versus not having a plan. You know, um, by adding that dilution, and again, I don't know much about it, so I don't know what their plan could be, but it's something that's worth a $2 billion market cap and has a tier one exchange attached to it versus something that is a $14 million market cap and could potentially and doesn't have honestly anything really attached to it. It does have a decent amount of followers, but it's not something that I'm willing or want to take a risk in. Um, and I have the funds to take that risk, and other people may have the funds to take that risk. It's just there has to be a lot more research done into it before I can decide to, if I wanted to take that risk or not. All right, so let me check the stock market to see how today is reacting, at least from the open. So currently seeing maybe a little bit of positivity, about $100, or sorry, no, I'm more than a little bit of positivity. I'm seeing about a $600 increase in my dividend account, I think I might really want to um, invest more into FDVV, like a lot more in SDVV. I feel like I don't have a ton of technology based positions, at least as far as I know. What's SPYD do? It's more in the real estate, 15% in financial, but then very little in the technology market. I don't really have many in the technology market. SPY, that's a SPY. That's something where I have a decent amount in the technology market, but I don't have a lot invested. It's like $2,000, $1,000 invested into the Dow. But what is invested into is SPHD. SPHD might be more into, no, it's more into real estate. So a lot of it is more into real estate rather than technology, even any technology actually, which is great to be invested into the real estate market with like 25,000, but I need to put more into the technology sector. That's the whole reason why I'm missing out on some of the gains is I don't have the technology sector. Hmm. Yeah, that's gonna have to be, there's gonna have to be a change there. And maybe that'll come after I, take a little bit of profit, that a lot will go into the technology sector, whether it's FDVV or something else, because I have some other larger ones, right? You have VYM, but VYM doesn't pay a large dividend either. I think it's like 1%. Because I don't have any VYM, I don't think. Oh wait, I do. I have $7,300 worth of VYM, and that's not strong in the technology sector. It's more in financial services and 15% in technology. It pays a 2.5. But what was the growth over the last year? The growth over the last year was 10%. So VYM that's not bad. That's not a bad dividend. It's not a bad play. I might have to put a lot more into VYM, but that's such a traditional route to go. Um, uh, is a cover call ETF for those seeking even higher yields, but you're also giving up something, and I want to know what you're giving up. No, can't even do that. All right, guys. I think I'm good. Everyone's waiting for Nvidia earnings. Should be interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I have a. I don't even know how much Nvidia I have. It's over. It's not in here. I have Nvidia on my Webull account. But guys, if you could hit the like button, TRO is going to $2. Would love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Um, but right now we're sitting at a value of 23 cents. Not bad at all. I want to see this continue to go, and hopefully around the time when I get off, it really runs. But guys, if you could, we've been on for about 3 hours. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out some of the links down below for Twitter, for Patreon. And if you guys want to trade CRO yourself, leverage trade CRO, you can do it at a 50x leverage if you want to. But remember to be careful because leverage trading is very risky. You can lose everything in your account. Make sure you're setting stop losses, all of that stuff. However, if you want to start leverage trading, utilize BTCC and utilize my link. If you use my link, you'll get a 10% deposit bonus, extra bonuses all the way up to $10,055, depending on the thresholds and milestones that you hit, 40% lower trading fees, and you can trade all the way up to a 500x leverage on various cryptos. This has been around for 13 plus years, and you can trade a ton of cryptocurrencies. Anytime there's any type of breakout or news or thing that's happening, BTCC is on top of it, and they have it available on their platform. So go ahead and check that out. Link is at the top of the description. It's also in the chat, and get your deposit bonuses today. But I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully CRO hits 50 cents today. Would love to see it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.